YouTube is preparing the stream. We got that. And then let's record. Let's record on this computer because why not? All right. All right. So we're here now on YouTube live. We are now live on Live 365. This is pretty legit. Anyways, my name is Josh Hankin. Thanks for joining us today. This is a beautiful Friday afternoon. It's September 2nd, 2022. Once again, it is a bright, beautiful Friday, and I'm here welcomed from a Valley band. Mm-hmm. But before we get into that, just wanted to let everyone know here, if you're listening to Live 365, go ahead and get it checked over there at YouTube. We also have a YouTube now at All Access Garage, especially our Instagram, All Access Garage. You can find the link in the bio. And once you do that, you can see us live. You can see Chris's beautiful face. You can see my beautiful face. And you can see us screaming at each other. Maybe perhaps something's going on, But anyways, enough of that. Again, this is a band that I recently got put into. In fact, I recently know about him because I worked with Chris. I'm not going to say where at, obviously for privacy reasons, but we worked, and it's a band called Glair. Welcome, and here's Chris. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Sup? I'm great. I'm chilling. How are you?
Dude, you know what? Finished the day. I'm like hot garbage right now. Mm-hmm. I'm just ready to go home and take a nap. But I want to do this interview because you know how much I love you and how much I appreciate the Music Hub. Of course, it's not a problem. But sooner or later, hopefully, if they end up joining, we'd have another member called Jess. So if you hear us randomly like, "Oh, hey, Jess," screaming and yelling, you know who it is. So
perhaps.
Especially, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, perhaps, mayhaps. If you're on YouTube, you'll end up seeing it there. But if you're on Live 365, you probably will hear it there. Anyways, So you have any opening statements? Anything you want to say to everyone? I don't know. Just screams the world, shake your fist, get all mad and everything.
I'm Chris Rez, but I go by Rez from Glair. We're from the Valley. We're all based from the Valley, but one of us lives up north. We're like a shoegaze alternative band. We rock, and you should listen to us because we rock.
Just go ahead and put the little finger guns up there, but like you better do it.
You better do it. Get our numbers up.
Dude,
get our numbers up.
If not, Chris knows where you're at all the time.
I do.
Don't make the Glair band jump you. But anyways, so let's get into it, shall we? Let's dive in. So
let's do it.
Where did it all start for your band? Where was the original foundation for you guys?
We started like in high school. Well, sorry. Me and Tony, our other guitar player, me and her started the band in high school. I think she was a senior and I was like a junior. And we were just like, let's start like getting together and playing guitar together and writing music and stuff. And so we decided to get together and we just started like writing like little songs and stuff like on guitar. And we got our bass player to be like the main vocalist, like the singer. And then like, I guess like we decided on what we wanted to do as like a band. And we started off as this band called Dispirit. Like that was our old name. And we were kind of like alternative, kind of like emo, like I guess sort of like everyone would call us like everyone would say we were like the Title Fight of the Valley, if you know who that is. But they're like a cool like alt band, emo band. And like just since then we've just been like like playing gigs, and we'd had a name change and a sound change, and that's where we are now. We're like darker, like gazier and more ambient kind of like sound that we all think like I feel like I'm like finally making like the stuff that I should be making. Like I'm pretty happy like with the sound we have now, and I hope everyone else in the band is too.
Yeah, and so I guess for people who don't know, when we refer to the Valley, because a lot of people, especially since I don't know where you guys are from, not the Glair, but rather for our listeners, some people will think of the Valley as of like the Golden State. We're talking about Texas, the Valley, where
Mhm.
It's puro pinche 956 is what we all say and
Yeah,
everything. So
Puro
it's
956.
dude. So I'm telling you. So it's like a very it's a nice little place in South Texas. Best food there though. Unfortunately, here in
Mhm.
Austin, a lot of the time you see when you're passing by the local Taco Bell, best tacos you'll ever have. No, it's not. Not even close. No,
Not even close.
especially no, especially Torchy's tacos. Get the hell out of here.
Dude, oh
But
my God.
you've had
I have a
Torchy's?
whole thing. Yeah, I've had Torchies. It's okay. I don't hate it. Um, I feel like it's average. It's super overpriced. Like they're just white people tacos, which can be good, but like they're not my thing. Like when I can have like an order of like 8 tacos over here, like that are way better for like the same like
Dude, yeah.
price.
They're like $1.30, $1.50 for like a good sized taco. Like when I went back to Brownsville in the Valley, it was they had a calacas. Have you had that?
Ah, yeah. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan. I think it's okay also.
Dude, no. I think that was pretty. It was pretty good. I mean, I don't
Uh-huh.
know where you would say the best tacos are at, but man, like for $1.30 for like a taco, I can get like 5, 6 of them, and it'd
Hmm.
fill me up pretty well for like. And I
Hmm.
get a drink with that, it'd be like $10, $12. At Torchy's, you'd spend at least $20, $30 on a plate. And it's like, come
But
on, that's
like,
not.
don't get me wrong. When I say like Calacas is like okay, I mean it's okay for like our standards down here. Like okay in Austin would be like really fucking good, you know,
Dude.
like better than Torchy's for real.
We need to bring a Galactus up here in Austin, man. I'm telling you,
Hmm.
change the game somehow.
Hmm.
But yeah, to kind of going back into everything. Was there anyone or anything that kind of inspired you, perhaps, to get into the music scene? Anything that pushed you to do this, the whole gig and everything?
Well, when I was in high school, like I said, like my senior, junior year, I like found out that the Valley had like a music scene, like in McAllen. I found out about this band called War Threat. They're from like McAllen Bar area. Um, I found out about this band through like Twitter, or Facebook, or whatever. Like the local like hardcore scene or whatever. And then I found out that um, and then I went to a show. I guess I went to one of their shows. And I saw like I went no, not their shows. I saw they put on an event called Valley Fest, and it was just a bunch of like hardcore bands, like hardcore like punk adjacent bands like playing. It was like a 2-day fest kind of thing, and I went, and like it was pretty insane. Like the energy was pretty crazy. Like there's a bunch of kids like jumping on each other, like moshing, like really aggressive, like guitar music and stuff. And I thought it was like the coolest thing, right? Um, and then just being into like music, like just in general, just being into music, and then like going to shows and meeting all these other people who are also going to shows and like the same things that we do, like the community aspect of it. Like it made me really want to like do it, and like be a part of it. And what better way to be a part of like a scene than to like play in a band and like actively like perform and like go to shows and just like make friends and stuff. And it was really cool. Like that's kind of what made me want to start playing. But as far as like influences and stuff, like bands who made me want to start playing music or making the kind of music that I make or that we make, like I think bands like I said, Title Fight, bands like Slow Dive, like My Bloody Valentine, Smashing Pumpkins, and then like the newer, like also like newer bands like Super Heaven and like even like hardcore bands like I guess like hardcore bands in like the sense of like when I was coming up, like when I was getting into like alternative music, I was getting really into hardcore. And I feel like hardcore has like a very huge like part in like the way I grew up and like I guess like the ethics and like the community kind of like aspect of it. And
Mhm.
like um yeah, it's like it's kind of like we're playing like alternative music with like our roots are like in hardcore, like and then like hardcore and punk and stuff like that. So we're playing like this really sad ass music, but it's like punk adjacent, So it's like
Oh
still
yeah,
like a
yeah.
little bit aggressive and abrasive, a little bit like I don't know, like noisy, just like chaotic kind of stuff, but also really nice, like sad sounding stuff.
And I think you mentioned earlier, it was more it's the ambient, very kind of you can kind of just close your eyes if that makes sense and just let
Hmm.
the music flow over you. And I feel like
Hmm.
that's something that your band managed to do pretty well. In fact, again, the other
Thank
night
you.
I was, because the thing about it is that with me, especially doing these interviews, you kind of have to, it's kind of almost like a football thing where you have to study the playbook. You know what I mean? You go through the
Mhm.
songs and be like, let's see what I can do here. And yeah, what I found myself was more that the band is just much more very calming. It's kind of like
Mhm.
it's kind of like there's a sense of danger, but just calm going on, if that
Mhm.
makes any sense. And you'll occasionally hear me say it, and I've talked to other bands about this, and I think the idea is still there, even to this day. You and I could have a different perspective on what music is. For example, if
Mhm.
we're looking at your music, right? You can think of like, oh well, I made it this way for people to understand it this way, but I'm like, no, I see it a different way. And I
Mhm.
think that's the beauty of music is we can take different pieces of it and kind of make something out of it for ourselves. So
Mhm.
um yeah, again, I'm really the music that you guys produce, and we'll talk a little bit about it a little bit more later on. It's again, it's just a very beautiful thing that you guys created. So um yeah, I guess kind of moving on to the next one.
Mhm.
Why your band name, and is there a story to that?
Honestly, no. It's not that like complicated. Like our old band name was called The Spirit, and it was like we took that name from an EP by this band called Super Heaven. Like they had an EP called The Spirit, and at the time we were like, "Fuck it, like that's gonna be our name." And then like we started like writing and playing shows and stuff, and then we decided like we don't want to play that kind of music anymore. We want to kind of like evolve into like a different band, and we had a couple songs that like reflected like the change, I guess, which are like the first like release we put out, which I think is called Into Me or Into You. I don't know, but I'm so bad at like keeping track of our song names and stuff. um but like we had those two songs and we were like, well, they sound different, like they sound the most different from everything else we have. Why don't we like change our name and then just drop those songs under our new name and kind of like rebrand as a band? And so we like were just standing around and we were like, okay, but what should the new name be? And our guitar player Tony, she just said Glair, and we were like, yeah, let's do that. So
Right
that's it.
on.
Yeah, like it was just like, honestly, it's because like band names suck. Like most band names suck. Like it is what it is.
I think
It's
most
really
band
hard.
names probably end up coming from like a Google search. You know what I mean? Like you just type
Hmm.
in on Google like cool band names that aren't used, and
Hmm.
you type in what your favorite animal is, what your birth year is, and they'll give you something
Hmm.
really crazy.
Yeah,
So perhaps
yeah,
maybe that's what it is. And well, you
perhaps.
guys see, maybe it's maybe it's a little coincidental, but see, there's a glare coming from those lights behind. See, maybe this is
Oh
just
yeah,
you're fitting everything that's going on, man.
yeah. No, for sure. It's
Serious.
definite. It just works, I guess. Like I'm
No,
pretty
yeah.
sure there's a bunch of other bands called Glair, but fuck it, like we're doing it.
We're
And
the glare, not the glare. We're
mhm.
the glare.
Yeah, we're the Glair right now. No, honestly, funny story is that there's a band from California called Glair also, but they have like three A's in their name. And they were I don't think they were, I think they were touring with them. They were touring with Ceremony, which is like a hardcore like punk band. Also, I think they're from California, but they were coming like through to McAllen, and what's it called? They were coming through to McAllen, and the promoter who was booking that show, he had pitched us to that show, right? Like to for us to open and stuff. They There was like a whole misunderstanding. So they thought that like it was that other band instead of us. So they said
Mhm.
yeah, they said yes. They were like, yeah, we can have them on, but it wasn't us. It was that other band. So we were like super stoked. We were like, fuck yeah, dude, we're gonna play with Ceremony. Um, and then like he like messages us, like the promoter. He's like, hey guys, like I'm really sorry. There was a whole misunderstanding, and it's like
Oh
I'm really
God,
sorry. And it was like fuck, like it felt like shit,
you were
but
just
it was
punching the air
cool.
at that point.
Yeah, but it was cool. Like it isn't like whatever. It is what it is.
No, yeah, and I mean now you guys are a considerably big band, and I think again, I guess just to reestablish what's going on and what we mean, it's the fact that coming from the valley, a lot of the times, especially where I'm from, and maybe I can speak on your behalf, Chris.
Hmm.
Um, the lower valley, I guess in a sense, there's kind of like it's separated into like lower valley and upper valley.
Hmm.
The lower valley really doesn't have any music scene at all. In fact, I think all of it kind of almost in a sense died.
Hmm.
and there's barely anything. And the best, I guess, the only venue that you can really go to would probably be El Cine del Rey in McAllen,
Hmm.
and your Yuriba. I forgot how you pronounce that.
Yerberia Cultura.
Yeah, that's the other
Yeah,
one.
we
Those are the ones that I know that are active right now.
no, I think
And
Europe is done. Like there's Yerberia is not open anymore right now. I think it's uh they're throwing shows at the Gremlin, which is like a block down. There used to be this venue called Space 16, like super small
mm,
venue. We like played there like once or twice, like at a hardcore show and stuff. And like now it's like this bigger venue. They have like an outside stage. That's where we had our EP release show actually at that venue, and it was super cool. It was really a lot of fun. Like a lot of people came out, and we had a really good time. But I think it's right now really it's only the Gremlin and Cine. But there's also like little DIY venues. Well, not little, because there's also Sauce House that are ran by these kids in San Juan, and they're doing really cool stuff there. And there's also, I think in Mission, there's this space called the Bummer Shed, which is ran
mm,
by the kids in Bummer Trash. And I always see, like, I haven't been to Bummer Shed just because like life got in the way of going to shows and stuff, right? Like recently, so I haven't really been able to go to those shows because Mission's like a whole other like an hour and a half away. And but but it's really cool. Like I see videos from there all the time, and it's like they've built like a really little like a really cool like little community. Same with Sauce House. Like we've played there a few times before, and like we literally played there like to like maybe like 5 people, and like now like whenever they have an event, there's like it's like packed. It's like really packed, and that's super cool like for them. But yeah, like it's cool because like I I've been like a part of the scene locally here for a while, like maybe since like 2014. um and it's gone through a lot of changes and stuff. Like there's a lot of venues that have like come and gone, but nothing really concrete. Like we thought that like for a while Yerberia Cultura was the place that we'd play there like every weekend. I'd play there with Glair, and then like the other bands that I was playing in, or like like everyone would just throw shows there. Like there was an outside stage, an inside stage, like it was
yeah,
like the spot, right? And it was really cool. And like the person who ran it was like a really cool like person, and we like admired that guy until he stopped like owning it. And that place got kind of weird, and then it got cool again, and then now it's not there. No, actually there's another place called 707 Coffee House, which is a coffee shop in Alamo, and they throw shows there as well. We played there a
yeah,
couple
and
times.
and again, I'm telling you, again, notice how like a lot of the times you're just saying it's kind of the upper valley. So
Hmm.
it's kind of, and especially even then, um, a lot of bands don't typically end up coming down to the valley. At least the
Hmm.
other bands elsewhere, it's usually again, like you mentioned, local bands that are typically will come here. Um, but yeah, it's never really the bigger bands. And
Hmm.
I guess now you're in Glair, you guys have reached this. I feel like in a sense you guys can give the whole valley a name, and you guys have shown that kids from just kids from the valley can develop something so big as to
Hmm.
where you guys are. In fact, I don't know if you're even allowed to say this, but it's just much more of I'm assuming some of your listeners are probably even across the world.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Like I definitely do feel like we like we're like I wouldn't say we're like the biggest band, but we're like up there, like number wise and stuff, and like the reach we have. So we definitely like want to try to like eventually like be like be able to bring like bands down, because we our bass player used to book shows like a while back, a few years ago, and he would try to bring like touring bands, but they're like it's not like huge bands, but pretty like good, like sizable bands. And for a while it got kind of better with there's this promoter called Tiger's Blood, Patrick. He brought down like the Marias and like Kuko, and like like
yeah,
a bunch of like cool like bands and stuff. Like he brought down Mac DeMarco before he blew up. He's brought down like Power Trip um like a few times, and like he's brought down like some really cool bands. um and I like it's doable. Like it's just that I feel like no one wants to come down here because of like the checkpoints and stuff, like just like the uncertainty of like the market down here or whatever. But honestly, like a lot of like kids like want to go to shows, especially after the pandemic. Like we had our release show after the pandemic and our show was packed, like, and it was a really cool feeling, you know. And like it's cool seeing like that, like now that like we're in this like not post pandemic but post lockdown like era, I guess. A lot more kids are like wanting to go to shows and like are starting bands, you know. And like that's kind of like ultimately what you want, like these younger kids who like want to like start projects and want to contribute, you know, to like the scene. And that's how the scene grows, you know.
Exactly, and I think like I've always mentioned it. You know, music always has a certain meaning to a lot of people. In fact, for me, it's helped a lot of times. You know, I'm not going to get too far into it, but you know, there's been times in my life where you know I've been through some hardships, and listening just to music has such a meaningful thing. You know, it's a piece of art that
Mhm.
someone made, perhaps you know, in a certain time in their life that was maybe hard, good, or anything like that. And
Mhm.
again, music is just a beautiful thing to translate. And you know, for a lot of people, especially there in the valley, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of kids would be, you know, more than thrilled to have you guys or
Mhm.
anyone at that point just come by because, again, like you mentioned, it's the idea of, you know, you have all these people from different backgrounds and different
Mhm.
bands that are coming here, and then just kind of like a checkpoint that's there. You know, again, the marketability down here, but
Mhm.
it's like, you know, we're just like any other people would say in Austin and Houston and Dallas and California, San Francisco, and all that stuff.
Mhm.
We love music just as much as the other guy does,
Yeah.
and you know we want more stuff to come out of that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that for sure. Because you know, and I'm looking here at the questions, and we, you know, we will eventually talk about that a little bit
Mhm.
more deeper. But as far as right now, you know, for you, besides music, you know, what do you do? You know, do you have any hobby sports or you like to attend events, perhaps?
No, I'm boring as fuck. Nah, honestly, I really just like to chill with my partner and our cats, and I like to watch wrestling, and I like to watch anime. I'm just a nerd, you know. Like that's all I really do. Just like read manga, watch anime, watch
Dude,
wrestling, make
dude,
music.
honestly, here's the most controversial thing. You know what? And we told we we're going to talk about it. Who's your favorite wrestler? That's my question.
Like of all time or like currently.
Well, let's do it all time and then currently.
Hmm.
I'll start it. I think my favorite one. We're all nerds here now. We're not talking. We
Yeah,
totally avoided.
this
I
is really
think
hard.
mine was. It is. I'm thinking more of Stone Cold would probably be
Stone Cold's cool.
my all time.
He's a good one. All time? Fuck. This is hard.
Yeah,
Mm,
and then for current, I don't know what current would be. I'm not. I don't watch too much current because I kind of got lost with all these new changes and everything going
mhm.
on that I'm just all discombobulated on all that stuff.
Dude, honestly, right now is like a great time to start watching wrestling. Like everything's popping off. Like WWE is getting good again. AEW is still killing it. Like New Japan's cool. Like all these like cool promotions. Stardom's great. Like there's all these like really cool promotions going on right now. But all time favorite wrestler, this is really hard, honestly. I can't even, I'm not even gonna like, I'm just gonna say John Cena to piss everyone off.
You know what? I'm actually going to throw it to our viewers right now because we actually have sizable viewers on YouTube right
Mhm.
now. What's your favorite? What's your favorite wrestler? Chris literally just wants to piss everyone off and just say John Cena. I mean, but that's a valid thing though.
No,
That's
he's
valid.
great. He's great. He's really, no, actually, I'll say great. Favorite of all time, I guess, probably Brian Danielson, Daniel Bryan. He's probably like,
The whole yes movement.
yeah, yeah. He's insane. Like he's a great ass wrestler. Like in the independents, like he's doing really cool shit right now with AEW. Um, yeah, his whole yes movement was cool. Him winning the world title, both of them, I guess, against like Batista and Triple H was sick. Like that, like really cool moments like that, I guess. Currently, my favorite wrestler is hmm, currently mm, I, I can't even say. I'm gonna
See,
say
we stumped Chris. We stumped him today.
yeah. Fuck. I'm just gonna say I guess Tetsuya Naito. He's like a Japanese wrestler. He's cool. I love him.
Damn, there you go. So there you go. So you pissed everyone off. You said
Mhm.
John Cena, but now you said Daniel Bryan, and then now you have
Mhm.
I don't want to slaughter his name, so you can say it for me.
Tetsuya Naito. Naito. I don't know. Yeah, I'm
I don't
butchering his
want.
name probably too. Like there's Jess.
Oh look, see,
Yo, what's
there's
up,
Jess. What's
Jess?
up? What's up?
No, it's
See,
connecting.
so
What's up, Jess?
here, hold on. So for everyone who's listening on live right now, Jess just joined.
Mm-hmm.
So this is legit. We got some squads going up here now.
Mm-hmm. We got trios.
The trio is going. Where we landed?
Where we dropping? Oh my God, Jess. Oh my God, Jess. That sounds like shit. I'm gonna text her.
Let's see where we have here.
Yo, Jess.
Can y'all hear me or no?
Yeah, we can. We can hear you loud and clear now. At least I can.
Okay, cool.
I can-
I had my
I can hear
earphones
you.
in, so maybe that was it.
Maybe that'll
All right.
help.
Well, you
All
joined
right.
in a good time. You joined in a very good time. Chris was just talking about his favorite wrestlers, so we're gonna put you on the spot now. Who's your favorite wrestlers now? Your current and all time.
Mhm.
I am not a wrestling person, so I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
Just say John Cena twice.
John Cena.
Yeah. Just
You give the whole salute going on to John Cena. But yeah, no, so yeah, I guess kind of continuing onwards, right? Being a band from the Valley, again, you guys come from a very small area. So it's just much more well, I guess small in a sense where the music scene isn't as big. How did it shape the way you guys play music and write it, perhaps?
I feel like for me, it gives me like more, like it pushes me, I guess. Like I really like, love the Valley, and I love like being from here, and it makes me want to be like, yo, like there's cool shit coming from the Valley, like, because there's a lot of really cool shit coming from the Valley. Just like we're pretty often overlooked because we're so like down south, like away from everyone. Like it's so fucking hard to get out of Texas. Like. What about you, Jess?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
So the question was much more, being from the Valley, how does it shape the way you play music and write it, perhaps?
Oh, that's easy. Fuck. I don't know. I guess it's just like some sort of like motivation, kind of like what Rez just answered. Like it's not as saturated as compared to like music. It's just like more just be like, you know what, like we're gonna do this shit. So yeah, I guess Rez answered it better than I did. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you're good, and I mean definitely, I agree, right? I mean, I think we were mentioning earlier. Again, it's a small music scene there in the Valley, and to want to push and become better. And again, you guys have like I was mentioning to Chris, you guys have a sizable audience with you guys that are arguably around the world. And again, if you had said that a while back to someone, especially when the music scene, wasn't as big as it is now in the Valley, they'd be like, "Oh, you're lying," but it's impressive, and I think you guys have brought it to the next level and showing that any kid in the Valley can grow up to become that person they want to be. And I think
exactly.
you guys are a great example of that. and it's a shining, it's kind of like a little shining light at the end of at that tunnel, and I guess try not to get too emotional or anything, but kind of think. I just want to give a thank you to you guys because it's like you guys show that anything is possible. You can be anyone you want to be, do anything you want to do, and it can come true as long as you put your mind and heart into that. So I think that's something that maybe we can all agree here.
I actually don't agree.
But yeah, you don't agree?
No.
Hey, you see that little? You see that
look,
thing where it says "leave" right there? You might want to click on that.
Look, hear me out. Either you're born with it or you're not. Honestly. No, I'm just kidding.
There it is. No, the words of wisdom from Chris. But so why did you guys gravitate towards the style of music that you guys play right now? Was there something that kind of said, you know what, let's create this atmospheric music type of deal with you guys?
I always like say that like we're not trying to like do anything like special or crazy or anything different. Like we're just kind of like regurgitating everything that like we like, essentially. Because like I just want to, like when I started like the band, I just wanted to play music. I never, or when we decided to like make like more atmospheric music or like shoegaze or whatever, it was never about like how can I make shoegaze different. It's just like I really like this genre and I want to play it. I want to write songs in this genre. Like I feel like we've like evolved and like kind of like found our own little like sound or like our own little pocket like of where like we sit in terms of like sonically and stuff. So I think it's just like just being influenced by all these other bands, like just liking it, like just getting, I don't know if I can say this, but just getting very inebriated and like listening to music and like just feeling it, like I don't know. Not to sound like pretentious or anything, but like it's more of like the feeling, like the way that the music makes me feel as opposed to like what's being said, I guess, or like the words, because like the genre of music we play, like lyrics and like the singing is usually like drowned out and it's usually just kind of used as another part, like another instrument, as opposed to like like yeah, you can say like you can be all deep and poignant and stuff, but like at the end of the day it's more about like the feeling of the song, like the way the song makes you feel. And that's really it. As far as
do you have any Oh yeah, and do you have anything to add to that, Just perhaps?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm like the same answer as Rez. We just like to play what we think sounds cool, and we're not trying to like be another Michael Valentine or Slow Dive, whatever. It's more of like just play what we think like feels like cool, pretty much.
Right on. And and kind of looking back at your previous tours, I know that you guys had just recently come to Austin, which is pretty legit. And so for you guys right now, how has it shaped, going, I guess in other words, how has touring put, the music scene into perspective for you guys?
Well, honestly, I feel like Jess can take this question because she's toured a lot more than I have. So I feel like she's been like around more, I guess.
I don't know. It's very inspiring watching like different bands, like bands that you never heard of or seen before. And then you just come back like feeling like extra motivated to just be like, you know what, like this band was cool. But it's also like trying not to take influence from them either. It's just more of like inspiring like type of thing. Instead of just like listening to just like the same like rotation, I guess. I don't know, like coming back from tour, especially this previous one, put me on to so many good bands like Bedlocks, Glean, and so many more that I can't name off the top of my head right now, but it's just became more of like hey, like this was cool. Like they're just showing like a lot of the bands that we saw on this tour just showed us like a whole different like perspective and like songwriting and shit, which I think is like really cool to like see and watch happening like in our time.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, again, I think that's the beauty of it. It's just much more of when again, I've told Chris this, and I'm not sure if I told you this, but it's more of the idea of, music is just a beautiful art form that everyone can have a different perspective onto it. And, again, it's much more the idea of, your music can mean a certain thing to me, whereas it means a different thing to you. And, I think that's what brings it all together and what makes the love for music so much more better. And, kind of coming from this, putting it with, I guess, in your sense, I can't say because I've never been on tour, but it's more that, when I'm there as a spectator and listening, it's kind of like, holy shit, I didn't know this band existed. And then you just kind of feel more attracted to that band and you start growing your knowledge on bands much more. And it just becomes a very beautiful, in a sense, tree of knowledge, I guess, if that makes sense for you. So
Yeah,
I can see why you say that.
And it's like a whole different world once you like actually talk to like the members or the band, because then they start putting you like onto shit that they're into, and it's just like, damn, like it all makes sense why the music they make is what they're making now. And I think that's really cool. Puts a whole different perspective too.
Kind of like a behind the scenes, if you would, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty fun, honestly. Like this last tour that we came off of, we did 2 weeks, and like the first week we did with this band called Utmost. They're from like Staten Island, from New York. And before that, like we had never like met them or played with them, but like we were sharing a van together with them like for a week, and they were like the nicest, like most wonderful people to be in a van with. And then like watching them play like every night like we were just like admiring like how good they were, because like their songwriting is so good, and like they're sick. They're definitely sick. And then the second week we were
I'm sorry, go for it. Sorry, I didn't mean
my bad. And the second week we were with like Jess said, like Bedlocked and like our friends in Trauma Ray, and then this band called Kraus, and then this band called Money, who our label mates jumped on also like midway through it. So it was like really cool to be like amongst like peers and like other like musicians that you respect and like you admire, and like being amongst friends and people who like we all like take care of each other, and it was just really, really fun.
And when you're I guess it's more of a personal question, but it's more like, do you guys ever not necessarily get tired of listening to the bands that you're touring with, but how does it feel to be listening to them almost every night, the same, I guess, in sense, I guess, set list they have? Is it kind of like, do you guys tend to get like I know that song and start playing in the back of your head, start, you understand it, or how does that work out?
Well,
I guess because that's what I always wonder, because I'm like, if I'm going to be touring with someone, and I hear that song every other day,
honestly,
am I going to start hearing?
Like I said, like Utmost, like definitely like we're probably like in my opinion like the best part of the tour, because like they had like a different energy from us. They were like a hardcore band, we're like a slower like shoegaze band, but somehow like we kind of made it work, like watching them every night was honestly really cool, because like they had like their cards stacked against them like throughout the whole tour. Like their fill-in drummer couldn't make it, so their singer had to drum, and like and then Jess even like filled in for a couple like shows for like a couple songs, and like so they had like the cards stacked against them, but they still made it work, and they still like rocked every night. And like it was really cool to see them like get better every night, like dealing with like what they were dealing with. So it was really cool like seeing them, and then like kind of falling in love with like their music and stuff, like because I liked them before we like toured with them, but like watching them, like the energy is completely different. Like I feel like with hardcore bands, it's more, they're like, hardcore is more like a live kind of thing, where like you watch bands live and like that's how you get into them, like as opposed to just like listening to a record like on the like streaming it or whatever. Like it's much better to see a band live, like especially like a punk like / hardcore band. So like seeing them was really cool, and then like playing with Trauma Ray and like Bedlocked, and like I said, all these other bands who have really great like tracks, like just every set every night was just like a great set, and it was really cool. I don't know if that answers the question. My bad, Jess.
Sorry. No, like they're so sick for that, because I feel like any other band would have just like quit or like given up if that shit happened to them. But Utmost said like, nah, fuck it, we're just gonna like do what we want and do what we can. And I think that's like super cool. Like it made me just love the band even more.
Oh yeah, right on. And again, I think that takes, for me, I know that at least I admire what you did, Jessica. You know, stepping in for a band that you just barely know and start drumming away and playing. It's like holy shit, how
God.
could you do that? I mean, with me, I barely learned how to play hot cross buns on my guitar. I have at my house, and it's like with you, you're just going at it and start just jamming out. And I'm like, that's a lot of dedication. And I think, you know, that if you again, you put your whole, you know, my heart and mind into that, and I think that's something that, you know, I guess in a sense is very admirable, because, you know, again, not a lot of people can do that. And, you know, especially I don't think I would have been able to do that, because knowing me, I'm a very nervous person, and when it comes to like, oh shit, I have to learn, I'm going to be playing with this other band that I have no idea how to play, and I think that's pretty interesting. So, you know, that's pretty legit, dude. But yeah, you know, kind of looking back at your tours you performed, you know, what is the most memorable moment you guys had? You know, perhaps was there something funny you want to share with us, something that was pretty cool that, you know, maybe you what is it called? You what is that word? Stage dive, right? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Honestly,
What are
every
some
show
memorable
is
things for you guys?
every show is so good, but I think OKC was the most memorable one, because from past tours from like older bands that I played in OKC, one of them fell through like the day of the show, and then another one we were playing like at some garage, but then the cop shut it down, so we ended up playing in the guy's living room. But
Oh
with
my
this
God.
tour, it was really cool because it was like a first like solid like show, and it was like a good turnout too. We played like in some thrift store. I think it was really neat.
Yeah, it was really nice. I think for me, the one that stood out the most is probably the showcase, the Sunday Drive New Morality Showcase. So we based this whole tour around a showcase that our label and another label were like having like this like joint like showcase. So it was like, and like the label was kind of full. It's like alternative bands and like hardcore bands, all really
Yep.
sick bands. But like, so it was 2 days, and they split the days. Like one of them was like all like hardcore and like, you know, like the punk adjacent stuff, and then the second day we were all like the alt bands. And so like Utmost, who are also our label mates, they were playing the first day, so we were there the first and second day. We were on the second day, and it was just really cool just being there around like other people, especially other like friends from like Texas. Like a lot of people from Texas were there in California, and it was really cool just to like mingle around and like meet and like see our friends, like, and be like in like half a country away, you know, like with our homies and stuff. And like it was really sick, and like it just felt really like special.
Yeah, right on. I mean, I would, you know, I don't know. I think that's awesome. Again, I think the one beautiful thing is that everyone has a different memorable experience, but at the end of the day, it's just something that you keep to mind. And I think that's something that I appreciate, you know, a lot of the time, because, you know, as a spectator for me, you know, you can tell that the band, you know, will play their heart out and do as much stuff as it can, and, you know, kind of going through the tours. I guess kind of what you mentioned, you know, every other day is memorable for every situation you guys have.
Oh yeah.
And I think
for
that,
sure.
you know, there's a lot of memorable things that I remember going out doing stuff, and, you know, especially when it comes to music, and I can see why you guys say that for sure. I don't know if I made sense there, but hopefully it did, right?
It made sense.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, so here's where you kind of get into the nitty gritty of what you guys do. So, you know, how does a song come into existence for you guys? And perhaps is there any themes you guys try to follow when you are creating that during the song?
So usually, so our like way of like writing is always kind of like been like it just depends, honestly, because sometimes like ever since like I got like a DAW and like I'm able to like record demos and stuff on my own, like I've just been like kind of like fleshing out songs, and like I'll sit down and like write a whole song, and then I'll present it, you know, to the band and be like, yo, this is my vision, like what do you think? Like of course, like I want them to like contribute and for it to be like a collaborative thing, you know, like if they don't like something, like, you know, they can change it or whatever. Like I'm open to like, you know, like ideas and stuff. But sometimes it'll be like that, like it'll be like, yo, I got this idea. Sometimes it'll be like me and Tony like together, our other guitarist, we'll get together and we like collab on a song. We'll have like she'll have a part, like an idea for a part, and then like I'll have an idea per part, and we'll just like mesh them or whatever.
Mhm.
We recently got a new member. We lost a guitarist on tour, and we got a new one. And already like he's sent like a whole ass like song idea, which is super cool. Like, like we kind of want this to just be like for fun and be like collaborative and like not like no ego shit, just like everyone just trying to like contribute and like have fun with it.
Wonderful. And for you, Jess, perhaps anything you want to throw into there as well?
Shit. I just know drums. I don't know shit about guitars. It's usually like everyone else that's like sending ideas, and every now and then I'll be like, what if it sounded like this? Or what if we did this instead? So yeah, it's like a collaborative thing too.
And for me personally, like Chris, you're gonna hate me right not hate me, but
I already do.
it's just much more. Yeah, you already do. Chris already hates me enough. And by the way, Jess, the reason why we're like this because I've worked with him before.
Yeah,
I worked with him. But yeah, no. I've always had a very deep appreciation for drummers. I just think that the idea of just banging shit is just so fucking cool. I don't know, like just making a noise, and it's just, I admire that. And in fact, there's been bands that I've listened to. For example, I don't know if you know the band Surf Curse or Idols. I've gone to their concerts and I've literally gifted them like drumsticks to the drummer because it's like, I feel like the drumming is it's what gives the beat to everyone. You know what I mean? Without that tempo that has it going, everyone's kind of lost. But you can tell that like I've tried drumming. And by tried drumming, that means I've gone to I've gone to a Guitar Center and banged the shit out of drums and annoyed people for a while. So, it's much more that, I have such a big respect for a lot of the people who do that, because again, it's not only is it more of a physical thing because you're stressing your body, going back and forth and everything, but it's much more that you're also giving light and again, a tempo to everyone else. And I think that's something that's such a beautiful thing about drumming. So guitaring, as much as I would say I love it, which I do, I have it's a love-hate relationship. I can barely play Hot Cross Buns on my guitar, so it's not like I can do too much on that.
No, honestly, but, I wish I wish drums was my first instrument, because like playing drums is so much more fun than playing guitar, honestly. Like I straight up like love playing drums, but like I play guitar. But it's cool. Like Jess is like the puppet master when we play live. We just follow her. She's like this.
She's the one that just goes at it. Jess, why don't next time you go, just start doing drum solo just by yourself. Just randomly stop this. Stop in the middle, start just doing a drum solo. Just make sure, just assert your dominance there at the venue.
I wish. It wasn't until I got older where I started being more conscious about what I play, because especially watching like other bands like play. So like I've noticed like a band could be a hit or miss if the drummer's like, I don't know, it's weird. For me, drummers have to be like passionate about what they're playing, but they also gotta be like, I don't know, bring something new to the table, I guess, because I don't know. Sometimes, especially in shoegaze, like for like most bands that I've seen, like it'll be cool for a bit, and then it just gets to the point where it's kind of like, okay, what else can we do? I don't know. I guess that's my perspective.
No, yeah, dude, I'm telling you, drummers are like a different breed, for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we can all agree, for sure.
They're built
but
different.
They're just so fucking awesome. Dude, they're legit my favorite. But enough of that. So let's talk about let's go ahead and talk about some of the hardest songs. I think, in my opinion, the hardest question I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys.
Yeah.
If you can pick 3 songs that you guys made, which one would you take with you? Say you're on an island, you can only send 3 of the songs you've made. Which one would you take that you've made? That's a Glair official Glair product.
Okay.
Like, does it have to be released?
If you want to start teasing everyone, I mean, you can.
I mean, we already played some of them. So,
okay, so yeah, sure.
Okay, if you've ever seen us live, the last 2 songs on the set, those 2, and then.
Well, we don't know it. What if there's some people who don't know the songs?
Morning Haze and
Morning
Sungrave.
Haze and Sungrave. I mean, they're gonna have to watch us to hear it. But but like those two songs, and then like there's a new one that we're working on, called Chlorine House, and I think that one I really like it. So maybe that one. I don't know. No, actually, no. I'm gonna scrap that. There's a song that I wrote called Sauteed that is probably gonna be on the next release, hopefully. And yeah,
Mhm.
that's the one because that one's kind of special to me.
Yeah, I'd take Sunny, Loading, Morning Haze, between Morning Haze or Sunbrave. I don't know. Those are all like
Right
really
on.
good songs.
Yeah,
Dude, right
they're all
on,
good.
definitely.
They're all good, all bangers, but those three.
All official
Except
bangers,
Morning.
man. Official. So here's the thing, right? Now kind of deep, kind of taking a little bit more of a deeper dive into who you guys are as individuals. What are some artists you're listening to right now? What's on repeat? And perhaps maybe if you can name a few albums that you have that you guys are listening to right now.
Let me look at my Spotify real quick.
Hey, that's cheating, man. That's cheating.
It's I'm just using my resources, dog. Let's see.
I'm listening to Bedlock for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I'm like, they're really getting me through like a rough patch in my life right now. So shout out to them for existing.
Yeah, they're a great band.
Who else? I mean, I don't know.
It just got really quiet. I would say Soft Blue Shimmer's on my repeat right now. They're a really great band from California. They're sweethearts. We played with them in Austin at the Mohawk when they came through. And then we saw them in LA when we played over there. And they're like the sweetest people, and their music, their last record is really, really good. And then their new record that's coming out, I'm sure it'll be just as good, if not better. So there's one band. I've also been listening to fuck. Oh, I know. I saw Nothing recently, like last week. I went to go see them in Boris in Houston, and we bought the Guilty of Everything EP, and I mean LP, and the Tired of Tomorrow LP, and I've just been like listening to Guilty of Everything on repeat also, because it's like one of like the records that got me into like shoegaze and like the more like modern like shoegaze kind of sound. And the third thing that I've been listening to, I've been listening to a lot of the Fortnite music. No, I'm just kidding.
I've listened to the Llama Bill, man. I'm pretty good average listener on that.
I know who I've been listening to a lot. This artist called Serskew. They're from like Dallas Fort Worth area. They're like a kind of like a post-punk like synthwave kind of like artist. I think it's just them like by themselves. I saw them open up for Drab Majesty in McAllen a few years ago, and like I fell in love with their sound. And they just put out a new album, and it's like really good. I really love it. Like it's really cool. That's what I've been listening to recently.
No, right on. And then, Jess, did you want to perhaps add a little anything into that, or?
I mean, specific artists, not really. It's just mostly like playlists I've been putting together, or like stuff I find on YouTube. That's it.
It's all
right on.
Sounds slowed and reverbed.
I'm gatekeeping my music.
It's like we're gonna find a way of getting that music. He's like, here at All Access, we'll find a way to getting that playlist from Jess. But yeah. So speaking of artists and everything, if you can collaborate with one artist, who would it be?
Charlie XCX. That's it. She's the one. She's the one. I want to collaborate with her. Charlie XCX. If you're listening to this, Chris, I'm free on Thursday. Yeah. No, she's cool. I really love her music.
What about my girl Tay Tay? What about Taylor Swift, man?
Honestly, I don't give a fuck about Taylor Swift. I think she's talented, but I don't care about her.
Okay. Oh, and for you, Jess, who would you collaborate? Who is the dream team for you?
I don't know. I'd say Drop 19s, but that's too on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way too on the nose. Blade would be legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't know. My mind's like
Right. Well, mine, again, if I was in a band, I'd probably pick the people who make that Fortnite music. That's pretty good. Chris loves Fortnite music.
I do that.
He's like, they're just spitting out stuff after stuff, man. I'm telling you.
I can't wait to have a Glair Fortnite skin.
The new Fortnite skin. But as right now for the band Glair, is there any future projects that you're working on that you'd like to tease everyone if? Anything you'd like to say, hey, we're coming out with a new album maybe?
Well,
Want to get everyone excited?
As far as Glair, I think right now we've just got like shows coming up, and then we're also in the process of writing our next record. Like we're just writing. We have like we have a lot of songs that we're like gonna go in and like finish up. Hopefully hit the studio soon. We're also planning to tour soon, so that's gonna be coming up soon. But we're just kind of trying to do it all, trying to hit it all. I know that we have a second press of our record Heavenly. There's a second press on our label's website. It should be coming out pretty soon. There's two variants. It's like an all green and all red, and then there's an exclusive variant over on Death Wish Records. They're also helping us with that, which is super cool. Death Wish is a sick ass label.
Damn, y'all finna make me act up and start buying all your vinyls. I'm already. I collect. I have over like $5,000 worth of vinyls because I'm so invested into that. And literally, I will. Don't tell me with a good time. I swear to God, I'll do it. I swear to God, I'll go in and buy all your vinyls from you.
You have to buy $5,000 worth of our vinyl. Now. No, but it's like we've got like, not to sound like that generic local band that says like big things coming soon, but like big things coming soon.
There you go.
I don't know what Jess wants to say, because I know that Jess is involved with some other projects that are really sick.
And Glair's like my baby, first of all. But yeah, I started like other bands, working on some like demos out soon, just shows. Like literally, I looked at my calendar for this month, September through December, and it's like basically booked like every week type of thing. And I'm just like, let's fucking go.
Mm-hmm.
Woo-hoo, look at you, dude. Look, see. So coming to a city near you, probably ?
We're gonna.
I said probably coming to a city near you ?
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, right? Hopefully, dude, that'd be legit. But here's where we get a little bit more sentimental, right? If you can look back at your younger self, what words would you give yourself? Perhaps. What would you pat yourself on the back, say everything will be okay, or what would you guys say?
I would straight up beat myself up.
I
would straight up just pummel myself. You're a fucking dumbass.
Yourself?
Yeah. I don't know. I think past me would probably be pretty. I think I'd be pretty I don't know how to say this. Proud of the shit that I've done or that we've done as a band. I never thought that we'd have all these listeners or we'd even make it out of Texas. This is just for fun. It's just for fun, but it's also cool that it's actually building up and we have a bunch of momentum, and at the end of the day, I just wanted to start a band and play music, and to see how far it's come and the opportunities we've had. It's really cool to look back and be like, "Whoa, shit! We've done some cool shit." I can't wait for the cool shit that we're gonna do in the future, And I definitely feel past me would be wow, that's pretty cool,
We're done.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Wouldn't have thought. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying for you. I was saying for you yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. Past me would not have thought I would have been able to touring consistently as much as I do now, or opening up for some favorite bands. That's no, you're good. Sorry, it's my boss. um, but yeah.
Right on, right on. So, just kind of closing thoughts and everything, for you guys. Is there anything you want to leave us off with, leave your audience? I know you have here on the YouTube, you have some people listening to you guys. In fact, we have some people saying, we love you, Rez. I love Glair, Soleil, Jess more like yes, and all this stuff. So
Slay
everyone,
Jess.
so for you guys, you have anything, closing any thoughts, statements, anything you want to go ahead and, just let everyone know?
Thank you for the support. Keep listening, keep streaming Glair, keep supporting. We have cool stuff coming out pretty soon. Listen to all our friends. We have a playlist on our Spotify that has a bunch of people that we love and admire, and we think they deserve like as much recognition as we get. Because there are some bands on there who we're like, we see live and we're like, fuck, dude, like this band is way better than us. How are we like? How do we have all these numbers, but these like other bands that we love like don't? I don't know. It's just just keep doing your shit. Like keep building. I don't know what to say. I'm trying not to be like overly like inspirational. 'Cause we play sad music. So I'm trying to keep it on brand. You know what? Since I'm trying to keep it on brand, everything sucks. The world is a disaster. Everyone will die, but fuck it. Let's enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Let's enjoy
Right on,
ourselves. So yeah, that's all I got to say. What about you, Jess?
If you really want something, I'd say go for it. You got like supportive friends, keep them close, keep your friends close. Lastly, fuck a job. That's it.
I actually have something to say also.
Yeah.
If anyone's like young and wants to start like a band, do it. Don't let anyone like tell you can't do it. Even if it sucks, just do it.
Yo.
Just like play shows, like just do it. Someone will like it.
Yeah.
Unless you really suck, then you should stop. But just do it.
Yeah, don't let
Right on.
fucking weird ass people discourage you from doing what you want to do. 'Cause I mean, yeah, I started bands when I was like 17, 18, and there was like so much like shit talking, whatever. But just don't let them discourage you, type of shit. That's it.
Right on. Well, again, thank you guys. Thanks to Glair for just stopping by. It means a lot that, oh, the Chris is already starting it, right? So we're gonna go ahead to you. Make sure to follow the link in the description for Glair's Instagram, Bandcamp. If you want to follow us here at All Access, you have it over here on Instagram and YouTube, and even in the link description. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go ahead and he left. Oh no! All right, y'all. Well, thanks for joining us. We love you. And